Something that's been on my mind recently is the idea of who you are. How do you know that this is an inherent part of who you are, and how do you know whether you know someone else? And what brings this idea and these thoughts into my mind is that I recently read a book called Psycho by Robert Bloch, I think. I don't have the book with me. I don't know if I forgot it in my car or where I put it, but I was reading it for a book club. And part of the plot was this idea of someone doing something that was so unlike them, so unimaginable, that the people around them, the people that love them and know them, just couldn't really believe that that's something that they did. And then that just got me thinking again more about, how do you know that this is who you are? And how do you know that you know someone else? I used to think about this a lot, and I stopped really for the past few years. And I used to think I have these certain characteristics, so I am this type of person. But then I realized that that doesn't always translate to real life, and that sometimes just the person who we are is just the story that we're telling ourselves and the story that we're telling other people. And I stopped thinking of myself really in terms of, oh, I am, and then insert titles like, oh, I am Bahrani, I am a hijabi, I am a medical student, I am, I don't know, I like books. Like, sure, that's a thing that I feel, but it's not exactly who I am. If I was no longer any of those things, will I still inherently be the same person? What if I changed 180 degrees? I mean, the only thing that I feel like I can really hold on to is my name, but then the problem with my name is that it's so basic and it's so boring. Like, I mean, Maryam, come on, like, there's no creativity in the name Maryam. And I've shifted from thinking I am this, that, and that, to thinking more of I am the type of person who would, and then say something that I've done. Because it kind of gives you an impression, it gives you an idea of the type of person I am, but it doesn't exactly give you like a specified rigid box of this is exactly who you are. Because sometimes when I think of myself and I look at myself from the outside, I'm like, okay, I haven't really changed. Like, wow, you've worn the hijab for like 1,000,000 years. Groundbreaking. Wow, you like books. Interesting. Wow, like I look around my room, and what really has changed in the past few years is like the position of where my bed is, or like how I organize my books, or like some pretty basic things. But then when I think of the way I look out to the world and the way I act in certain situations, that's really what has changed pretty profoundly. It's really difficult to look at yourself and judge yourself, like from the outside looking in, because what do you know? You're always on the inside. And it's really weird to look at yourself from the inside looking out, because you don't know who you are from the perspective of other people. And it's also pretty strange just to think of your face. And I've said this before in a video, but like who I am when I think of myself, which, don't do often. I mean, it sounds like I do, but like I don't think of myself that often. But like I don't associate myself with my face. It's not the immediate thought that comes to mind. I'm thinking of myself in abstract terms. And even sometimes when I remember of who I am, this is what I look like, and this is my body, and this is where I live in the world. Because like it's so random. Who's from Bahrain? No one's from Bahrain. I mean, I'm saying this, I live in Bahrain. Most of the people I know are Bahraini. But like, it's such a random arena to be in when you're in, or a random arena? A random person to be on the world stage. It's like, if I was a Sims character, you could have just pressed the random button and then just be thankful that I'm not wearing anything weird. But yeah, so now when I try to think of myself, or when I think of other people, I think they are, or I am, the type of person who would do this, that, and that. So like, I am the type of person who would alphabetize the books on her bookshelf. I'm the type of person who, I mean, it's easy to say that I care about my friends and family, but like, where's the physical manifestation? And I feel like I really am who I am, and I can decide or kind of gauge where I'm going in terms of character or morality, depending on how I act in situations where I don't think too much, where there isn't so much pre-planning. And it's kind of a weird thing to use, because I read somewhere that when you try to think of yourself, or you try to imagine situations, and you imagine like, in this situation I will be this person, or in that situation I'll be that person, then when that situation actually arises, you will act in that way instinctually, even though you've pre-thought of it before. And it's all just fascinating. I really like sociology, and I really like the human psyche, and I really like the idea of who you are is not fixed. And you could see it so obviously when someone you know and love changes in a way that you might perceive to be very dramatic, but then you give it a day or two and you're suddenly used to it. Sometimes I think that we stay in these molds just because they are a part of, because they are sometimes kind of imposed upon us by society. So like I may think of myself as, you know, the type of person who's this, that, and that, and that might actually be true, because in a lot of ways I am very boring and very classic. Like a lot of the stereotypes do fit me as who I am as a person. And even though sometimes I fit that mold, I don't feel constricted by it or like I can't move outside of it. And I don't know where that feeling comes from, but I would like to credit my parents because they're cool. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Where do you think personality comes from? Are you set? Are you done? Do you think that you will be a completely different person in 10 years? Do you want to be a completely different person in 10 years? These are the concepts that I think about. Hopefully day 3 will be more fun, but I cannot guarantee. Thank you so much for the comments on my last video. Please comment below on what you think I should talk about next time. Don't forget to subscribe. You can click the bell if you want a notification every day. I don't know why you would, but like, you could. And cheers. Bye.